When Durk's lawyers were getting ready to file a request to dismiss, we thought the matter was over. However, more than 230 GB of uncut audio and video recordings have just surfaced, some of which reveal Durk's involvement in a second murder as part of a bigger conspiracy. This second murder case is so ridiculous that even helping the federal authorities is no longer a possibility, and Durk's sentence might be raised from life in prison to death.
I feel like even if he snitch, he can't get up out of it. If they got him like that, I feel like even if he tell right now, he can't.
Federal prosecutors dropped a bombshell in the courtroom on December 12, 2024, during a detention hearing, by linking Durk to a second uncharged murder-for-hire plan in Chicago. The drilling of 24-year-old Stefan Mack, a suspected shot caller for the Smashville faction of the government, on January 27, 2022, is the subject of this other case. What secrets are contained in these revelations? Could the evidence be authentic? The most fascinating of all is the possibility that Durk will soon be placed in an electric chair. Gangster Disciples Matt's body was insane. In a neighborhood where gunshots are common, he was outside the Youth Peace Center of Roseland on 111th Street, which is ironically supposed to be a safe haven. They took Matt to the hospital after he was shot in the head and chest. Although Preston Powell, 23, and Anthony Montgomery Wilson, 40, a security officer, were charged with conspiracy for allegedly harassing Mack for a bag, the main question was who posted the article. What allegedly motivated this hit, according to prosecutors? Since the money trace points to Durk, the federal authorities claim that Durk ordered Max's body as retaliation for the April 2023 warrant application that produced the new receipts, was sealed until December 11, 2024, which was ironically the day before Durk's detention hearing in the LA case. According to the documents, Durk was allegedly offering money to anybody who would kill the persons who killed his brother. Specifically, he was promising money for the death of any gangster disciple. As far as the FBI is concerned, D-Tang's death was caused by the Smashville section of the GDs. On the morning of June 5, 2021, his brother Dante Banks, also known as D-Thang, was shot and killed outside of Club O, a strip club in Harvey, Illinois. The scene was tumultuous, with several gunmen escaping and even a Harvey police officer being wounded in another altercation. Mack was apparently operating a set with connections to Smashville, and he smoked. The unsealed warrant application, backed by an affidavit from FBI Special Agent Thomas Callahan, claims that Durk arranged or paid for Max's drilling as payback for his brother's death, thereby putting GD members on a bounty list. The FBI's alleged manipulation of the Max murder investigation, which links Durk to the suspected triggermen, Montgomery Wilson and Powell, from several points of view, is what makes these claims particularly salacious. We are discussing potentially the most damaging social media posts, such as one that asks, "Did Durk give you that money?" Street snitches, phone records that reveal ties between Durk and the gunman, and text messages that imply money was being transferred for the kill, which prosecutors are using as evidence of payment for the body. They have also mentioned lyrics from Durk's 2022 song Aha, which was released on February 22, 2022, in which Durk spits, "My brother Dang just got killed, and I've been slow since Gang Gang, but we got back on their ass. I'm sure the feds are," interpreting this as Durk essentially confessing to retaliating for D-Thang's death, possibly through Max murder. The FBI claims to have pictures of Durk with Montgomery Wilson. The defense is arguing that Durk isn't charged in the Chicago case, pointing out that as of April 27, 2025, Durk hasn't been charged in connection with Max murder, but no indictment has dropped, according to the Tribune and other sources. Raymond stated during the December 2024 detention hearing, "That's other people. Our client has nothing to do with that." The lack of charges emphasizes that these allegations are still preliminary and are currently being used to make Durk look worse in the LA case rather than as a standalone prosecution. The use of the Mack allegations in the LA case has legal experts side-eyeing the feds about whether uncharged conduct should be allowed in pre-trial proceedings. According to legal analysts, such allegations can influence judges' perceptions. Assistant U.S. Attorney Ian Yanalu argued at the December 12, 2024, detention hearing in Los Angeles that Durk's alleged involvement in the Chicago drilling along with claims of bounties on others, demonstrates a pattern of dangerous behavior. Magistrate Judge Patricia Donaghue agreed, rejecting Durk's request for a $3 million bond, effectively keeping him jailed while awaiting trial. The gang structure, with multiple factions like Smashville operating in different hoods, creates both internal beef and external conflicts. As we see in the alleged situation between DT Thing and Max's people, the fact that Matt was smoked outside a youth peace center is a tragic irony that illustrates how violence even permeates places intended to provide safety for the community. The Matt case goes beyond the legal drama to address the broader context of Chicago's gang violence epidemic. The Gangster Disciples, one of the city's largest and most notorious sets, have been linked to numerous shootings throughout the South Side. The Chicago allegations are particularly noteworthy because they may establish a pattern that, if Durk did plan Mac's murder in January 2022 as retaliation for his brother's death, would support the prosecution's claim that he later put a hit on Quando Rondo in August 2022 as retaliation for King Van's death. Though, of course, it's important to keep in mind that Durk hasn't been charged in the Mac case, and that, like all defendants, he is presumed innocent until proven guilty. Rap artists, especially those in drill music where violent imagery is part of the style, rather than necessarily an admission of real acts, are disproportionately affected by the use of lyrics as evidence, which is particularly controversial. To fully understand how it all escalated, we need to go back to the first murder-for-hire case in LA and the game-changing motion his legal team recently filed, arguing that key evidence Lil Durk's charges are demonstrably false. Few names in the rap industry are as synonymous with the streets of Chicago as Lil Durk's. Known for combining raw emotion with hard-hitting lyrics, Durk has carved out a niche that positions him as both an artist and, to some, a symbol of resilience. But beneath the music, a web of legal issues has ensnared him in a serious federal investigation. The recent indictment against Durk Banks illuminates a world far removed from the recording studio, one where alliances, vendettas, and betrayal shape a narrative that reads like a thriller. The origins of Durk's legal troubles date back to 2020, when a highly public feud between his rap collective, Only the Family, and a rival faction. According to the indictment against Durk, the murder of Devin Bennett, also known as King Vaughn, a close friend of King Van and a fellow F artist, allegedly led to a feud with a rival rapper named Quando Rondo, who was suspected of being involved with Van's killer. Witnesses and confidential sources claim that Durk put a bounty on Quando Rondo's life, wanting to see the feud end with his rival's death, which set off a chain of events that culminated in a horrific scene at a gas station near the Beverly Center in Los Angeles on August 19, 2022. According to police records, witness statements, and camera footage, 3 masked shooters opened fire on a black Cadillac Escalade, carrying Quando Rondo and his family members. When it became clear that this was not a random act of gang violence, Durk's name figured prominently in the investigation. The financial records they discovered revealed a carefully planned plot using funds from Durk's organization, and Quando Rondo escaped. But his cousin, identified in court documents as SR Savaya Lupab Robinson, was killed in the barrage of gunfire. An American Express card linked to Durk and F was used to pay for flights to California on August 18, 2022, just 1 day before the shooting, according to the affidavit, which also revealed that surveillance footage showed the movements of 2 white vehicles, a BMW and an Infiniti, and that Durk allegedly warned co-conspirator 3 to book no flights under no names involved with SICME, a directive meant to minimize any paper trail that could tie Durk directly to the operation, who had flown in from Chicago to carry out the horrific attack at the gas station. Despite this, federal and local law enforcement increased their surveillance of Durk and his associates on October 24, 2024, leading to a wide-ranging series of arrests. By that time, 5 individuals identified as F members and known gang associates from Chicago were in custody, including Kevin Grant, DeAndre Dantrell Wilson, Keith Jones, David Lindsay, and Asa Houston. They were all charged with conspiracy to commit murder for hire. As the FBI closed in, they found Durk's own escape attempts, and Durk booked 3 separate international flights within. Before he could board any of the flights, the FBI arrested him, sealing his fate and establishing the legal case that would soon be revealed. The investigation revealed Durk's leadership of the collective as a rap group and a representation of Chicago street culture, but the indictment accuses F of being more than just a music collective, describing F as an association that effectively functions as a criminal syndicate that engages in activities ranging from assault to murder, with members expected to follow Durk's orders and allegedly using violence to keep their numbers tightened, the web of evidence that prosecutors would eventually build around the rapper. Amidst the layers of evidence and mounting charges, a new revelation surfaced that would shake Durk's defense within the close-knit community. According to court documents, co-conspirator 3, a member of the group, was allegedly instrumental in organizing the logistics of the murder-for-hire plot, from securing travel and lodging to acquiring equipment for the hit. Durk was in California, in the days leading up to the shooting, living in a rental house in Encino with key members of the F Circle. There are rumors of betrayal in the rap game from a trusted affiliate who had been working in the shadows of Durk's inner circle for years, and songs like Peliode and Risky are full of coded messages about friends, flipping and cheating. In addition, he gave information to the feds, exposing cracks that nobody saw coming with his recent indictment on murder-for-hire charges. If you listen closely to Lil Durk's lyrics, you'll notice that he has been signaling about loyalty and watching his back for a while. In a recent interview on The Breakfast Club, 50 recounted the advice he had given Lil Durk as the murder-for-hire case heated up. Just watch your crew. The two had worked together on Power Powder Respect, the theme song for Power Book 4 Force, a Chicago spin-off, and they both worked on the 2022 album. These lyrics, which allude to a danger that lurks within his circle, weren't just street tales, they were warnings. Durk seemed to be plagued by the fear that someone close to him would betray him, and the current charges and allegations make them hit differently, revealing that Durk may have sensed the betrayal coming, but didn't know just how close it would strike. According to 50 Durk, this wasn't merely a warning, it was a gut feeling from someone who has seen how entourages can become deadly. Project 50 and energy within F that raised red flags. I was like, yo, this is them. Just watch him and his crew. 50 revealed in the interview.
When you said that to Durk, what was his response to you?
He said, you know what? He said, somebody just came in my house. How do they know exactly what the address is? I don't know my address. Nobody.
Because people knew where Durk lived, especially after his house in Brazelton, Georgia, was broken into in 2021, while he and his then-girlfriend, India Royale, were inside. It made him even more suspicious. For 50, this feeling of betrayal was more than just speculation. It was reality, reminding me of the time I spent closely watching his crew and analyzing their behavior. That energy myself in the middle of everything going on, he explained, suggesting Durk could need to follow suit. The message was clear. Something in Durk's camp didn't add up, and there were rumors that pointed to a certain man. Jam is considered an established member. He even joked, asking, if you got pulled over and you're not in jail, why are you not in jail? Jam had been imprisoned for more than 10 years after an attempted rapper King Yella claims that Jam directly linked Durk to a murder-for-hire scheme against rapper Rondo, whose real name was Tyken Bowman. Jam also claimed that Durk was responsible for Lupab's death. The murder accusation allegedly strengthened his loyalty to the crew, but there have been rumors since his release in 2022 that Jam had flipped, wearing a wire for federal investigators and giving them information about F's activities. Hip-hop insiders and fans alike started to piece together the mystery after the alleged hit, which was done in retaliation for the murder of King Vaughn, an F member and close friend of Durk. One video featuring DJ Academics and reporter Trenches, news from Chicago fueled the flames as the Academics talked about rumors. What started as a bond between street brothers quickly turned into one of the biggest betrayals the rap game has witnessed. Trenches News confirmed the story, saying, "That's facts," suggesting that Jam's resentment of Durk may have contributed to the incident. Jam stated, "You're not supposed to brush off my call when I need something," feeling betrayed and taking it as a sign of disrespect when Durk ignored his baby mama's call for help with legal bills and to ask for a lawyer. Wack 100, a well-known figure in the music industry, provided insight into Jam's street-to-snitch transformation in yet another shocking turn of events. There is no stain on my name, and I have never been a rat who has captured a gun. In an interview, Wack 100 claimed to have kept it real, brought him cars, and given him $50,000. For 12 years, Jam looked like a good, street-loyal man who carried out his duties without saying a word and built a respectable reputation. Case. But he got smart and realized that Jam's knowledge wasn't just idle talk. He allegedly gave the feds a playbook that explained all of F's moves. The indictment claims that Durk and his team used coded messaging to plan the murder for hire, and that Durk warned co-conspirator 3 not to book flights under specific identities in order to keep the operation clean. Surveillance footage, however, revealed that F affiliates were following Rondo in Los Angeles prior to the hit that killed Lou Pab. Jam allegedly wore a wire and recorded everything, providing authorities with a blueprint of F's movements, including the precise details of which flights were scheduled and which cars were rented, all of which were booked under aliases, financed with F's credit cards, and moved around to reduce their visibility. Music kept him grounded during his 12-year prison sentence. Jam and Durk became brothers because of the good times we shared, but that didn't keep Jam loyal. Rumor has it that Jam flipped because Durk didn't show him the loyalty he felt he deserved. Maybe he felt disrespected or ignored, but whatever. The reason, Jam made a choice that exposed Durk to one of the worst betrayals in the rap industry, in addition to the heartbreak of being duped by someone he believed to be a close friend. After everything that has happened since his arrest, Lil Durk will have to fight for a future that doesn't seem bright right now. His recent arrest has destroyed his career and caused a lot of rumors and speculation, especially on TikTok, where some users speculated that the Chicago rapper would be executed by electric chair, using quotes and memes such as "Why prison? Thug in prison." This electric chair is going to Durk. So, who will we listen to next? The accusations may make for great conversation starters, but the post went viral, sparking disagreements and concerns among Durk's fans and the hip-hop community. Quan claimed that Durk's fate was predetermined. However, despite what TikTok may say, Durk is not facing execution because California, the state where he is charged, has not used the electric chair for years. Federal courts ruled against the death sentence in 2006, and Governor Gavin Newsom imposed a complete moratorium on the death penalty in 2019. Fans may be worried about Durk's future, but there is no official statement or court decision indicating that he is considering the death penalty. 1 week before his arrest, the village of Broadview, Illinois, gave Durk an honorary key to the city in appreciation of his work through his Neighborhood Heroes Foundation. But the honor was swiftly revoked when news of his arrest spread. Broadview's Mayor Katrina Thompson wasn't holding back when she stated, "While the American system of justice grants everyone the presumption of innocence in the court of public opinion, in Broadview Village has far higher moral and ethical standards." This was not just a symbolic revocation. Durk's reputation was severely damaged. His efforts to showcase a different side of himself, the part that is about giving back and volunteering, have included establishing the Neighborhood Heroes Foundation. Under the court of public opinion, especially with these grave accusations looming, Durk's positive reputation is under jeopardy. The consequences of his detention go beyond fan speculation and revoked awards. With his recent donation of $150,000 to Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson's campaign committee, Durk has also been involved in the city's politics. Since Durk was taken into custody, many have asked, "Please understand why it isn't mine." In order to avoid making a snap decision, Mayor Johnson gave great thought to his response when asked if the mayor should return the money. "I'm being asked to make a judgment on a black man before a trial has even been held." Mayor Johnson's reaction highlights a more serious issue with Chicago politics and hip-hop's influence on the metropolitan city. Beyond his career as a musician, Durk has served as a community leader, even meeting with Johnson twice. The future of Durk may now depend on whether he can keep up these political ties or if they start to crack. Durk has struggled throughout his career to reconcile his street character and his support of social reform. This latest accusation is the most serious, but Durk has tried to improve his image throughout the years with his rapping in the 2023 Grammy-winning song All My Life, expressing his desire to alter the impression and hinting that he will eventually be more than just a street rapper. While his fans are still at his side, this latest lawsuit has the potential to destroy all of the work he has done to promote social concerns and financial literacy in Chicago, including organizing events, working with prominent companies like Bank of America, and using his Neighborhood Heroes Foundation. Institutions and public figures might be reluctant to keep up their support for him. With the stakes so high, Durk's future depends on whether he can deny these charges, or if he has to endure a protracted court battle. To see more videos like this, click on the ones that are on your screen right now.